Good day, everyone. Ali Safi here from Safi Financial Network. Today is August 2nd, 2024. What a week, guys. So we just had another sharp sell-off this week as well, another red bar on a weekly candle, and everything looks pretty bad. When you see the market, especially last 3 weeks, we just see consecutive red bars, one after each other, and everyone kind of like disappointing about the future of the market. As you see here, NFP just came up today as well. So not job number actually was kind of like a disappointing. Everyone is talking about like a 50 basis point rate cut on September. Just yesterday or 2 days ago, they were talking about 25 basis. Today after NFP, it just came up to 50 basis, which is market speculation. It's not something that Federal Reserve is going to announce right now, at least until Jackson Hole Symposium. We should wait to see if they will say something. But all in all, I should say when earnings are coming from different stocks like a big techies or semiconductors or the other stocks, it doesn't show kind of like a strength in economy. Everyone is kind of like struggling with lots of expenses. Inflation still is here. I know that the numbers are going down, but the economy is not growing. So that's the bottom line, folks. With this interest rate number, which is 5.5 for US, it is very, very hard to have a growth more than that. When we have something like this, everyone is piling their money into banks and they're getting kind of like interest from the bank rather than putting their money in economy and making growth more than that, especially when companies are just suffering from the growth this year. Everyone just scratching their head. Okay, we have kind of like a cooling down the inflation, but growth is not there. So Federal Reserve sooner or later they need to bring the rate down. So that's how market reacted these days, and they're just saying potentially the growth of the economy is going down, and we are heading to recession even sooner than we thought. So what's happening to the market? Let's go to the chart, see what chart tells us. I just want to give you kind of like a video, two-part video. Basically, I'm going to cover everything in one video. I'm going to stocks and also indexes at the same time. But in this video particularly, I just want to go through three indexes. So in next video, I'm going to cover stocks, gold, and silver as well. So in this video, I'm going to cover just S&P 500, Nasdaq, US 30, and Russell. So we'll see how it goes. Here is S&P 500 monthly chart. The reason that I bring this one up, we just finished um, months of July, and we're just getting down um, months of August. So as you see here, August is pretty bad right now, and we can see some kind of like still volatility down the road for months of October, actually September, October, even November. I see like very, very weak months. So all in all, when I see this picture, we are overstretched, overbought, something like this, and we are ready for a cool down. So this cool down, if we get kind of like even to this area, I should say 4,000 level, which is gonna be, guys, crazy, like a 26%, even a 30% to the downside, which everyone is talking about the bear market. But no, that's not a bear market still. Still, we are in a long-term bull market, even if we get to 41 to 4,300. So don't fool yourself with those numbers, because if you just move back here, so here is the bottom of 2009. And as you see here, the trend is kind of like as you see here, going up. Here's the COVID crash bottom. Here's the 2022 bear market, mini bear market. And right now, even if we get down to here, we're going to be the third touch for a kind of like a bottoming formation. So I'm not expecting this third touch is going to happen next month or so. That's very, very odd. even if it happens next 6 months. Or I should say in future, let's say in 2025, even if we get some kind of like very, very prolonged decline to here, you shouldn't be worried about this because that's kind of like a 22 to 2600, sorry, 42 to 4600. Still, we are gonna see kind of like a bottoming phase for the market, and that would be kind of like a very shallow corrective move, and this is gonna be a prolonged decline all the way to 2025, which I don't think that's gonna be the case. But anyway, if we just see the market right now in a bigger picture, we are just still in a bull market. Nothing happens with the market. If you just saw my previous video, if you're here for a long time, you know that SMA 20 and SMA 50 is kind of like my benchmark. Very, very easy benchmark for a bull market and bear market. So in a monthly chart. And we are kind of like a far away from these two. And even last time in 2020, 2022, even 2020, COVID crash, we just got below this, and the next month we just jumped back up nicely above these two as well. So in March, we just nailed the bottom, April, and then May, market just went off the roof parabolically to the upside. And here is 2020. So right now we are here, and we have got lots of room to get here. If we get here, and if we say, okay, the situation is not that good, we will let you know. But right now it's very, very earliest stage if someone is talking about recession or so. So because recession words again came up today with an NFP number, and also, yeah, we are slowing down the economy. We are in a very, very low growth, and companies are kind of like a bailed out. But I should say still we are at the earliest stage if you want to just call the top. I should say this is a significant top for the market regardless of recession rate, whatever, based on the chart, this is significant top. And if you just go over to my July videos, the entire month of July, especially go at the beginning of the month of July, different headlines that I just posted in my videos, July top is coming, significant top is coming. And even before that in June, I was saying like a July, August, we are going to see the top for the year. And potentially we are seeing the top for the year. But how far we can go to the downside, again, that's going to be kind of like a prediction that everyone has different idea. I have the idea, but I will let you know day by day, week by week when we are going forward. All right. So moving on to weekly chart. Here is the weekly chart. And if we want to just focus on this, we are kind of like accelerating to the downside, specifically this week, heading into this important demand area. So this demand area is very important just because it initiates the rally to new all-time high. So for sure, I should say 99%, we're going to see a bounce. And this bounce is coming along with SMA 20. And for those ones who are coming to my class, they know that we have got a drop and pop pattern. And this is exactly the sample of drop and pop pattern. So we dropped and we should wait for a pop. How far this pop can go? We're going to get potentially to this area. I'm not expecting this pop is going to last all the way to even double top or new all-time high. No. If that happens, that would be kind of like out of my expectation. Right now, I'm just looking for something like a drop and pop, potentially to 50%, 38% Fibonacci of this. But we should see the bottom. I should say I have some indicators. We will get to intraday's chart as well. We are pretty close to the bottom, to intermediate bottom, potentially 2-3 weeks bottom for the market. If next week we are going down and then 2-3 days, like after Wednesday, we'll see market is just picking up to the upside and form the bottom, potentially a shadow, like a very, very nice shadow here to the upside. Just take it as a good bottom, and we're going to see kind of like market is going to go up potentially to 5,500. So that's the level that I'm looking for. But after that, again, when we are getting to later part of the August, the early September, we should see some kind of like, again, topping phase for another signaling to the downside. And this time we are going to see a very nice ascending head and shoulder to the downside, and we can see series of lower lows all the way to 4,900, which is kind of like the area that I'm looking at. So even by November, if we broke to the downside, even if we get to here to 46, 4,800, that would be kind of like the potential scenario for a market by end of this year. So I should say everyone needs to be careful. Bounce is coming, and I believe that bounce is coming potentially, especially, I'm not sure for Monday, but probably Tuesday, Wednesday, if you see the bottom information. Then we see a bounce, and that bounce is going to be a strong one going up. And then to 5,500, we are going to see the stall signal. So there are lots of charts, especially for the second video. Make sure watch that one, because I'm going to cover that one in different individual stocks. And Nvidia, Amazon, and those ones as well are showing kind of like the bounce and the top information the next phase. So right now, if we go to stochastic, we're going to see stochastic signals very nicely to the kind of like a downside. You're still not in oversold condition. That would be great if we get to oversold condition, but remember last time we didn't get to oversold condition. We just got to SMA 20, exactly where we are right now, and just middle of a no man's land, just cross over to the upside, and we had a marvelous move to the upside. So potentially this time the bounce is going to happen like that, and we are going to just see another sell-off after, let's say, as I said, September, you're getting to the oversold condition. However, this IMI is not topped and is not bottom as well. So IMI topped here, as I said before. This is kind of like interesting, very interesting leading indicator for me. So whenever IMI topped, we should just be worried about the next correction. So this is kind of like the area. IMI usually topped before market rollover. And here we just got a very nice divergence in MACD as well between these two tops, and also RSI between these two tops in a weekly chart. So stochastic crossover nicely signaled for a top information to the downside. So weekly chart tells me that we are kind of like a topped, at least multi-weeks top, but the bounce is coming, and this bounce could be a week or so, could be 5 days, could be 3 days, and that's going to be very strong bounce, I should say. Something like Wednesday, just last Wednesday, remember how strong was that? So Wednesday bounce was pretty kind of like a technical bounce, and I'm just looking for that one in 3 days, maximum to 5 days bounce, potentially starting Tuesday, Wednesday. Moving on to daily chart. So here is the daily chart, and obviously we've broken this short-term trend line to the downside. Very, very obvious. There are lots of different patterns that you see here. Head and shoulder nicely going down. Here's the bear flag going down, broken down nicely, SMA 100. And look at that. So here is the area that I was waiting for. I just keep my boxes. I didn't change it. If you go to my previous videos, we were waiting for this area. So right now we just stretched down, and I said potentially for kind of like an overshoot to the downside, 52 to 50 to 85. That's going to be the scenario that we can see. And right now we are here. So here is, as I said, this is a very, very important area. This is very strong support or demand for the market. So we may see a bounce. So in this chart, we can see, or we can talk about the bounce scenario. I'm looking for somewhere around here. So let's say by next week, we can see a bounce, and this bounce can go all the way up. The first level, we can say 5,400. If there is a strong bounce, we can see all the way up to, I should say, 54 and 98. So middle of this wide range bar, that's going to be a perfect scenario. And here is the SMA 20. This is a breakdown, and this is a fantastic kind of like a bear flag. One swing to the upside, then break it down. So I should say the perfect scenario is going to be 54, 50. So if market goes up 54.50, that's going to be kind of like from the current level, it's going to be 53.27. So 125. So 125 uptick for S&P 500 could be kind of like the bounce scenario. And then we can see if we see the selling opportunity, we are gonna just again sell. Right now, I'm not selling. Considering as like a short-term buy here, that would be kind of like the scenario that I'm looking at. And I think this one can be kind of like a good buying opportunity for traders for 2-3 days to get a bounce, because this bounce is going to be strong. 2-3 days bounce, middle of this wide range bar, and then getting to this level, and then middle of this wide range bar. These are 3 levels that you can take profit. And then if it gets here 54.50, I think that's going to be a perfect scenario for a short term, or I should say for a short signal. So that's going to be kind of like the scenario that I'm looking at. Stochastic wise, we are kind of like sliding on the oversold condition, which is the very, very normal after this sharp sell-off. And IMI is getting into oversold condition as well. So the last time we got into IMI oversold condition daily chart was here. So we are pretty close, as I said, potentially Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, we're gonna just like get back to the upside. Remember, it's gonna go up very fast. So we can go up very fast. I'm not sure if it's gonna go fast that much, potentially just here, and then sell signal. So this is gonna be the scenario that I'm looking for S&P 500. Moving on to Nasdaq, which was kind of like the leader in the downside. Nasdaq obviously had a bad situation. It just did go below SMA 20, and obviously we are just getting to the weekly bad shape. So 17,600, that's very, very important level. This is coming to this demand area. And I just want to draw your attention here to this wide range bar. So this wide range bar here is 18,000 to 17,000. So this is very, very important, just because when we got above this, Nasdaq just spiking higher to the upside. And right now we are just getting back to this important demand area. So sellers actually took the position to the buy here, shifting the structure to the buy side. And we should see some kind of like, if it goes down here, we're going to see a bounce. And this bounce, potentially it can go to 19,000, I should say the maximum. Moving on, let me just go here to stochastic as well, show you we are pretty close to oversold condition. Even we are getting below this May, April. So that's kind of like a neat for Nasdaq as well. Moving on to daily chart. So here's the daily chart. A daily chart we just got very, very important. This is a dynamic trend line here. Do I have? So this is touching a lot. Some people are saying, no, this is not a good trend line. You should draw it from here to here. Yes, we can do that. I have no problem with that one. That's why I have this box here for a demand area. So I don't see any kind of like even a mistake with this. This is kind of like the dynamic trend line, which market just reacted nicely to this trend line as well. So right now we are broken this trend line to the downside if we just zoom in here. So next, well, last time we just predicted this bounce, just 2 shadows here even before that, and then sold off sharply going all the way down to here. I should say this is kind of like the area that everyone is waiting for a bounce. So 18,300, we just got it, and then shadow to the upside. If we get kind of like a potential, a bullish harami or something, we can get to the upside. I would rather to show you something pretty neat here. This is a wide range bar, and this is kind of like it's broken to the downside. So what causes that breakdown? I believe this is the area. So if Nasdaq goes to 19,000 maximum, I should say we are gonna get a kind of like a very interesting sell signal for Nasdaq. I'm not sure even if it goes to 19,000, but if it gets there, so we're gonna sell Nasdaq this. So the bounce can happen again next week or so to this area. Even it can last for 2 weeks, let's say. But after that, I should say we are going to see a sell opportunity, and this sell opportunity can go to the downside potentiality 70,000 area. So 17,000, 18,000. That's going to be the level that I'm looking for, at least for a short term volume for Nasdaq. Moving on to, let me go to 4 hours chart because I want to show you something as well. So this is the area that we were expecting. Market just going up. Sure enough, it got here. We shortened Nasdaq going down, touch our targets. So this is kind of like an exhaustive candle to the downside. And right now, we are getting into this important demand area. So this is kind of like a pivotal point demand area for Nasdaq. We are kind of like overshooting to middle of this white range bar as well, and 18,300 to 18,400. This is the area that I'm looking for. And as you see here, there are kind of like a bullish action is taking place right now. Now we should see Nasdaq goes in intraday chart goes above this pivot. So these two pivots are to be recaptured for a good bounce, and we can go all the way up to 19,000 to 19,200. That's the area that I'm looking for. So for an intraday chart, if we want to just bring it down here, I should say this is the area for Nasdaq that I'm just looking for a sell. So 18,900 to 19,200, that's the area for intraday chart. I'm looking for a sell. If we get here, so let me just put it here. If we get here, potentially that's going to be a perfect scenario for another sell to the downside. So this is Nasdaq. Moving on to US 30, which is Dow. Dow just going down sharply as well. Just in 2 days, look what happened to Dow. In 2 days, we just pivot this interesting pivotal point or engulf this pivotal point. We are waiting for a bounce. This bounce can go to, again, 40,000. 40,200, 40,300, then we can see another sell signal. If we go to, let me go to weekly chart first. This is a daily, but weekly, we just got engulfing. Very interesting engulfing. So this is a bearish sign, obviously. And whenever we got engulfing weekly, so usually we have like a follow through. And if it goes follow through, that's going to break this trend line. This is kind of like ending diagonal formation, and we can see some kind of like a very interesting sharp sell-off to 35 to 36,000. So I am very bearish on Dow because Dow is forming very bad, and I should say a banking sector, energy, and heavy value names are gonna hit more and more and more. So we're gonna see lots of Dow components actually are getting hammered, I should say next month or so. So be careful if you have those stocks in your portfolio. Moving on to Russell 2000, and I'm gonna finish this video after that. So Russell weekly chart. Here is the weekly chart for Russell. We just had a fantastic move last 3 weeks for Russell, but this week engulfed the last 3. So it goes all the way down, close below all closing last 3. So this means Russell is done. And any bounce to middle of this white range bar, which is going to be a potential scenario 21 to 2200, could be a sell for another like a sell signal to 2000. And if we break to the downside, which ultimately I believe we are going to break to the downside, we're going to see Russell 2000 in a very, very bad shape, folks. So Russell could get into bear market in 2024 easily. I believe this is in bear market. We didn't manage to new all-time high. Like look at the other names: Dow, Nasdaq, S&P managed to new all-time high. Russell just managed to lower high. So this lower high, there are lots of resistance, demand, supply, lots of institution monies here. And I believe that Russell did a fantastic job to get to this area because it was kind of like a disappointing after 2022, choppy, just a lower high. And then that's it. So we can go all the way down to 1400 to 1600 down the road to an important demand area. which is getting back to COVID demand area. So this is a COVID demand area, just to initiate this parabolic move. Russell can go below 2018 top, 2020 top, and this is very bad for the general economy. Overall economy is going to be very bad. If you go to daily chart, so daily chart tells you exactly the same thing. So we failed the bull flag here in a 2 candles in a row. We're just getting down to this important choppy area. So that's why I'm saying we can see a bounce to bottom of this bull flag. And then we can see another kind of like a sell, sell, sell all the way down. Not in a 1 day or two, but it's going to chop around to the downside. All right, folks. All right, so this video is getting kind of like a more than usual. So that's why make sure watch the next video coming, part 2 for gold, silver, oil, and also individual names. As usual, we're covering in this channel. Have a fantastic evening, guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.